Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Um, let's see. Let me see who was here first. Lydia Washington, thank you so much for being here first. Happy Friday. Connie Baumer. Connie Baumer's from Switzerland. So in Switzerland years ago, before the telephone, they would have to yodel between the mountains. Connie Bomber, yodel lady, ooh. And of course, that's not all, because the cows had those cowbells, so they couldn't just sneak up on you. Um, and of course, this cowbell is an authentic Switzerland cowbell, courtesy of guess who? You got it, Connie Bomber. Okay, thank you very much. Let me see. Church Nellie is here. I thought I smelled gin and regret. Hey, Church Nellie. I said, that's so weird. I smelled gin and regret. And then I saw Church Nellie was here. How did I know? Leg says, that's not doctor just wants money. What is the B? I think I know what the B is for. And William and or the British media is paying, allegedly. No doubt, allegedly. Somebody is putting her up to it. Somebody is putting her up to it. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, the super chat. All right. Yeah, she's back. Oh, she's back. I started to give her two faces, but I said, no, two faces isn't enough. Three faces ought to do. Under normal circumstances, she would be just simply a two-face. But seeing that she's come back again, I figure three faces ought to suffice. So yes, there she is, a three-face. Yeah, she gives a two-face a bad name. Let's see. Lex says 1 week deflection, distraction. Oprah now Aussie. All right. Thank you very much for that super chat. By the way, I saw Oprah today in a denim outfit. Wow, she looks good. She looks good. Okay. Thank you again for the super chat. Oh, let me get my face out of here. Oh, let me do one thing though. Let me make sure I'm on the right microphone because I had to restart my computer. And I want to make sure, yes, I am on the right mic. Okay. Then there's not a problem. Hey, Big Mama. Big Mama's in the house. Hey, Lizzie. Heather Stroud. Joyce Anderson is here. Veronica Quick. Felton LaShawn. And I see Tara Lovett is here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Take my face out of there. You guys, we have what is it, 6 days now? 5, 6 days? Because I believe Harry's event starts on the 16th and the 17th, right? So let's say they'll probably be there on the 15th. Oh, and there was an itinerary that was released, and I am conscious of it right now, but I certainly forgot. I forgot to access it. So anyway, there's an itinerary available, publicly available. And from what I heard, they're going to visit 3 cities. So I'll see if I can find that as I go along. Okay, let me get very comfortable. Ooh, ooh. Come on, arthritis. Let's do this. Arthritis. Ouch. Oh, okay. I think it's going to rain. Okay. Ah, Nafisa Shabazz. Peace and blessings to you too. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much for being here. All right. And also, thank you, Geraldine White, Jerry White, for her usual contribution to Royal Sussex. Okay. You know, it's so sweet too. Jerry has been in a hospital, and she's like, "Oh, I want to make sure that I get my donation out." I'm like, "Jerry, I would rather you just concentrate on getting better." Oh, you know what? Let me stop because I almost. Whew, that kind of snuck up on me. But see, if I say it, it's going to make my eyes well up. So I don't want to say it. But she went through some extraordinary. Um, anyway, thank you, Jerry White. She went that extra mile, and I really do appreciate it. Oh my God, I can't even say it because then it's going to make me super, super emotional. But and see, isn't that weird? Certain things that can be like emotional, you're okay until you hear your own voice say it. And then as soon as I tried to fix my mouth, then I felt that, you know, that feeling come over me. So I'm just gonna say thank you and I appreciate the extra effort. Oh my God. All right. Oh boy, that kind of snuck up on me. Okay. Let's see. One day people are going to go back and look at these times and see how the British media has tortured Diana, Harry, and Meghan. We can't let the narrative be set by that palace or the British media. William, Charles III are evil monsters. And let's not forget Godzilla. Let's not forget Godzilla, the stuff of nightmares. She is a puppeteer. Church Nellie says she gets emotional every time she thinks about her moonshine. So Prince Harry's Sentebale charity, which he co-founded in honor of his mother, Princess Diana, is suing him for libel at High Court. It's hard to figure out how to say that without, you know, without going, huh? Okay, let me try one more time. Prince Harry's Sentebale charity, which he co-founded in honor of his mother, Princess Diana, is suing him for libel at High Court. I don't know how on God's green earth they expect to win this, especially when you see the amount of evidence against the against his charity. Oh my God, people are just. But she's back. She's back. Just when you thought that you had seen and heard the last of her, she has found another way to ruin a good thing. A charity that has helped tens of thousands of people with education, um, with aid, health screening, and such, finds itself imploding because of that rogue chairperson who took an unpaid position, and held on to it for dear life whilst trying not to bring attention to the fact that there was a lot of money missing. Lots of it. If I recall, it was about 400K. Anyway, I did not make a slide for it, but I am going to stick with a media source that I recognize. Um, that, of course, being Feminegra. Okay, yes, I'm going to stick with someone I know because I don't trust the mass media. You just cannot trust them. But there are some excellent writers. Well, which, by the way, you guys, I did mention. Oh, I did not get a chance to get to this article, but I want to so bad. I'm going to take a screenshot if you don't mind. I'm going to take a screenshot and I want to share this with you, and I'm going to give you the link. And let's consider it homework, shall we? Let's consider this one homework. And there is a strong likelihood I'm going to forget to look at it, but I'll leave the I'll put the pressure on you guys. Okay, so I just took a screenshot, and here we go. So this article is by JP. I hope I'm saying it so. JP Canobo, and this is a Sussex friendly vlog or blog, I think. Um, very, very good writing, great writing, should I say. Very much a different style from Feminegra, but great just the same. Very well researched. So the article, How the Palace Created the Kate Cancer Confusion, right? We talked about that yesterday. So I did not get a chance to look at this article as of yet, but I'm going to put the link here. This is the website that I mentioned, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. Great writing, great research. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. And of course, we value the independence of the writer. So I beg you, please, Feminegra and JP Canobo. I'm so sorry. Please do support them. I have made contributions myself because we need their voices, right? We need their voices. Even if you can just do a one-time $5. I know JP has a membership available through Buy Me a Coffee, but as I say, they are doing God's work, and we definitely need them. You remember a while ago when I was making those pre-edited videos? Well, edited videos, should I say? And I used both of these writers as sources for those videos. So if you enjoyed those videos, I cannot take credit for any of the research or material. It was all their hard work. So that's why I'm asking you to make sure you support them. I'm going to put the link at the top of the chat. Oh, did I do it already? Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong thing, ain't I? I'm looking at yesterday's. Okay. I am looking at yesterday's. Let me get today's going. All right, there it is. So, again, please do support these writers because we need their voices. And I pray for the day that their hard work becomes more mainstream and that people can have an alternative to the filthy lies that comes from the tabloid media. Okay? But anyway, I think this is going to be a good article. And I'm going to check it out. Oh, it's not a very long article, but I'm going to do it another time. For a brief shining moment in early 2024, Kensington Palace told the public something unusually clear. Kate absolutely positively, not positivity. Oh, isn't that word that Kate messed up? Is contagious. Anyway, absolutely, positively did not have cancer. Oh, you guys, I have been making fun of Kate's speech all that time, and now I have inherited her positivity. Now I'm talking like Kate. Help me, help me. I'm turning into Kate Middleton. Did you hear what I just said? I was like, okay, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about.
You'll face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact. Leaders, you'll face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
You see what I mean? I have come down with a case of Kate. I did that to myself. I'm going to leave her alone before I am unable to work. Yes, I'm going to leave her alone before I am unable to work. That's what I get for messing with that weirdo. Now I'm talking just like her with that potability. Oh, okay. Disaster averted. So I was going to the Feminegra. Prince Harry and Mark Dyer sued by Sentebale in shocking defamation move. It says here that Prince Harry has been sued for defamation by Sentebale, the charity he co-founded in 2006. This is not a governance dispute any longer. It is a funeral pyre, and Sophie Chandaka is holding the match. She's holding the match. Court records show that Sentebale filed a defamation claim on the 24th of March against the Duke of Sussex and former trustee Mark Dyer. The precise allegations remained under wraps. That is convenient. Yes, it's very convenient that it remains under wraps because the loudest thing in this story right now is not evidence. It is the spectacle of a unpaid chairwoman. Okay, Feminegra says chairwoman, but I'm going to throw in unpaid chairwoman now presiding over the rather awkward question of whether its libel action is being financed by charitable resources or by supposedly separate external funding. Well, you know what? I am going to have to say that it is a very strong
positive impact.
Positability. It is a very strong
between profitability.
Yes, it's a very strong possibility that the money is coming directly from the charity. Yeah. The regulator did not back the biggest claim. Now, according to Sky News, Sentebale says it is suing Prince Harry over a coordinated adverse media campaign that caused operational disruption and reputational harm to the charity, its leadership, and its strategic partners. Prince Harry has not yet responded to the claims, according to Sky News. But there is a very strong possibility, a very strong
daily challenge at
yes, it's a very strong
the balance between profitability
and
having a positive impact. You'll face.
Okay. All right. So I am going to have to face that challenge on a daily basis of a Papa don't preach a tea. Yes, I'm going to have to face a Papa don't preach a tea and having a positive impact. Wasn't that a song by Madonna? Papa don't preach a tea. Anyway, woo! I'm having too much fun with that. So the last point is important because Sophie Chandaka's public defense of her own position leaned heavily on claims about poor governance, abuse of power, bullying, harassment, misogyny, and misogynoir. The Charity Commission concluded its compliance case in August of 2025. It said Sentebale needed a regulatory action plan to address governance weaknesses. After the damaging internal dispute, it criticized all sides for allowing the row to play out publicly and said it had severely harmed the charity's reputation. But here is the part that Sophie does not want you to read. The commission found no evidence of widespread or systematic bullying, harassment, misogyny, or misogynoir. Those were her headline allegations, the ones she took to Sky News, to Trevor Phillips. Yeah, those are the ones that she took to Sky News to Trevor Phillips. Look at Harry. Looking good, Harry. Looking good. Oh, God. That person, she works my nerves. But here is the part she didn't want you to know. Oh, yeah. Those were her headline allegations, the ones she took to Sky News to Trevor Phillips. To every microphone that would have her, she painted Harry and the departing trustees as perpetrators of a toxic culture. The regulator looked into it and said, in effect, not proven. Not proven. Nay, not proven. Also, I should point out that Sophie was actually on the board for several years herself. So if there was any systematic problems within the Sentebale, maybe there should be a countersuit against the chairperson. Yeah, maybe she ought to sue herself. maybe she ought to sue herself and sue for damages. As a chairperson that became the chairwoman, oh, am I saying it wrong? Board member, that's it. As a board member, she can sue the chairperson herself and she could sue for damages. And then that way, she doesn't have to come up with any of these weird, um, what do they call those people? Consultants. She can just get the money herself. A full circle moment with the money, right? Wasn't that a song? Just sue yourself. The rest is easy. It's such a shame. You seem so greasy. Sue yourself, and the rest is easy. Oh, you know what? That's not it. It's free your mind. Free your mind. Okay. I'm sorry. Wrong song. But the spirit is the same. The spirit is very similar. So, what does Chandaka do when the facts fail her? She changes the charge sheet. No longer bullying, now is a coordinated media campaign. No longer governance, now is defamation. When you cannot win on the merits, you sue the messenger. You sue the messenger. If you cannot win on the merits, then you sue the messenger. Hey, Raven, cookies and cream. Now, what the lawsuit does not say, Sentebale's statement claims that the coordinated adverse media campaign has been running since March of 2025. That is the exact date Harry and the trustees resigned. So I guess she's trying to say that when Harry and the trustees resigned, they went on a media campaign. However, if memory serves me, we didn't hear anything about it until she popped on television, right? Or until she made some absurd claims. I think it was when she went to the charity commission. I think that's how we heard about it. I mean, it's been a while, but that's what I thought. Look at her. Look at her in the middle there. Got her hand under the trophy. Look at her cutting her eyes over to that trophy. Why she can't stop looking at it? It ain't got nothing to do with her. It's not her trophy. It belongs to the men that played polo. Look at her. Still looking at that trophy. She can't even exchange glances with the audience because all she's thinking about is that trophy. Unless she's eyeing Meghan's ring. I don't want to believe that. Allegedly. I have to say allegedly because I don't want her coming after me. I do not want her coming after me. But I tell you, if I had to get on a witness stand, I would put her on blast. Do you hear me? I would put her on blast. I wouldn't care if I never earned another nickel. I will give her and the rest of them the what for. Yep. I will give her and the rest of that lot the what for. Anyway, Sentebale's legal position appears to be that what it calls a coordinated adverse media campaign allegedly driven by Harry and Dyer caused operational disruption and reputational harm. Yeah, the reputation of Sentebale was so bad, Harry raised millions for them. By that logic, every skeptical tweet, every YouTube breakdown, every Substack newsletter questioning Sentebale's governance is not independent opinion, but a missile fired from the Sussex command. This is absurd. A missile fired by the Sussex command. Well, who is the Sussex command? Who would you consider to be the Sussex command? There's no leader of the Sussex squad. And certainly, I will not accept any implication that says that Harry or Meghan has coordinated any type of attack against anyone. No, I don't accept that. Okay, you guys, I'm just kidding. The leader of the Sussex squad is Zandy Sussex. First Lieutenant Zandy Sussex. It's her. It's her. She's the one. Yeah, please leave me alone. I just spilled the beans. I'm just kidding, you guys. There is no leadership in the Sussex squad. We are independent of one another. We operate out of a strong consciousness. That's the only thing that we have in common is a consciousness that seems to connect us from one squatty to another. I don't know anybody's real name. I don't know where people live. I don't know any of that stuff. My fellow content creators are independent of me. And what they do and what they say is none of my business. I could either agree with it or disagree with it. But I tell you what, this lets you know that the Sussex squad has really hit a nerve again. Because when we call them out on these Twitter streets, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, when we call them out, people notice. And that is not what they want. They don't want to be noticed. They want to carry on with all this cloak and dagger stuff without anybody noticing where all of that foul stench and bile is coming from. It's just a handful of individuals, but not the Sussex squad. It's the derangers. It's the people left behind at Sentebale. Those are the ones that carry that grudge and carry that foulness every place they go. They're the ones who can't stop looking at that cup, that trophy. You there? Anyway, Leg says the Black British Business Award, bankruptcy, and now Sentebale. Was Harry on the BBBA? Nope. But guess who was? Her and what is his name? Ian. What's his name? Ian's whatever that guy is. I got a picture of him, I think, somewhere. Um, and it's been alleged that she extorted money from them, allegedly. She has a system. And also, oh, by the way, thank you, Legs. Let me add to it that somehow, wasn't it a connection between that that website that she had where some of the consultants that she paid all that money to also happened to be on that website that she and her brother conjured up where they were trying to link AI or nano science. It was so contrived and ridiculous. You could look at it, you could read it, and still have no clue what they were trying to do. But to me, it looked like they were just trying to um, gather uh, donations or whatever it was, however the money was taken, and that it would link them. As a matter of fact, the scientists that was on that website, right? The scientists that were on that website, those were stock images. They were not people that worked for that little shell company or whatever it was that she created. Those were stock images that any of us could access and use to make it seem like we had some type of medical frontier thing going on. It was so contrived. And I promise you guys, one of the things that makes me so proud is that I know that when some of the people that are supporters of Harry and Meghan take a fine tooth comb to some of these fly by night companies and foundations or whatever the heck it was, some kind of bringing scientists together thing, the Sussex squad went through it with a fine tooth comb. And guess what? Now that website is gone. That website, in some way, was linked to Sentebale. Whose idea was it to link her, whatever the heck that thing was, to Sentebale? Whose idea was it? I could tell you whose idea it was. Hers. That nonsense had nothing to do with Sentebale. Now, Sentebale was a charity established for people who suffered from AIDS, who may have lost a family member or had a family member stricken with AIDS. It was education and screening, food. It was a service to the community. But Sophie said that their scope was too narrow and that they ought to focus on, help me out if I get this wrong, but they were supposed to shift to climate change, sustainability, and all kind of weird stuff. You know, by itself, those things. Oh, and creating generational wealth or something like that. Now, when you hear someone say wealth creation and all that kind of stuff, then you know they on some BS. You know they on some BS. So it was a whole bunch of stuff like that where she was taking Sentebale away from its original purpose, a response to the AIDS crisis, the AIDS epidemic. And she wanted to spread everything so thin that the money would just vanish without helping enough people. Yeah, that's Sophie. That was Sophie's idea. It sounded a bit odd at the time, and it still does not pass the smell test. It still does not pass that smell test. I'm even going to say that it is a very strong.
At finding the balance between profitability and.
Yes, it's going to be very difficult to find a balance between profitability and whatever else she just said. Yeah. Also, this has nothing to do with anything, but I still cannot help but point out that there is a strong resemblance to the Iceman himself, a Chicago born singer by the name of Jerry Butler. She just reminds me of Jerry Butler. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, I'm not saying that Jerry Butler has a love child out there or something like that. I'm not saying that. But I would like to hear her sing. Listen, I get it. It's not important, but I cannot stop thinking about it. I am I'm obsessed. I look at her and I keep seeing Jerry Butler. Is that wrong? Is that a crime? Is she going to sue me because I look at her and I see Jerry Butler? Who they used to nickname the Iceman? She should be proud to have taken on the appearance of a soul crooner like Jerry Butler. I would be proud. Joan Lawman, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, let's finish up with Feminagra, shall we? So, is this a legal vendetta? A chair refused to step down after trustees lost confidence in her leadership. Harry and Prince Iaso then resigned alongside the trustees, turning an an internal that is breakdown into a full-blown governance crisis. Since then, Sentebale has laid off most of its London staff and entered retrenchment, while the regulator has already ordered the charity to address governance weakness. Now the charity itself is suing one of the co-founders for defamation before the full public picture of the finances are clear. That is not the posture of an institution at ease. It is the posture of one still mired in crisis. Prince Harry and Mark Dyer said in a statement issued after news broke that they were being sued for libel by Sentebale, the charity Harry co-founded in honor of his mother Diana, Princess of Wales. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Now, here's a statement. As Sentebale co-founder and a founding trustee, they categorically reject these offensive and damaging claims. It is extraordinary that charitable funds are now being used to pursue legal action against the very people who built and supported the organization for nearly 2 decades, rather than being directed to the communities the charity was created to serve. Sentebale, anyway, that's the end of that statement. Sentebale's board of trustees and executive director said in a statement defending the charity's decision to bring legal action. And this is the statement from, I guess, Sentebale. At a time when the international aid is contracting and the needs of children across Southern Africa are growing, the work of Sentebale delivers for 78,000 young lives is increasingly critical. The charity should not continue to use its resources to manage and address the damage this adverse media campaign has caused to its operations and partnerships. This must stop. The board and the executive director have taken this legal action to secure that protection. The cost of doing so are met entirely by external funding, and no charitable funds have been used. The board and executive director trust that those who believe in Sentebale's mission will understand why this legal action, whilst difficult, was necessary and important, and will continue to stand with us as we focus on the work ahead. Sentebale's focus remains where it has always been: the children and young people of Lesotho and Botswana. P.S. P.S. But we still think that we might need some more money so that we can hire more consultants at the tune of about 400,000 pounds. I'm just kidding. I threw that last part in, the PS. I threw that in there. PS. And the sooner y'all send the money, the sooner I can select some consultants that I have known at other times in my career, and I can make sure that those consultants are paid, substantially paid, money that was supposed to go to those 78,000 kids. PS, PS, PS. I know this sounds a bit suspect and that some people may not trust the process. And I know it sounds very strange that some weird medical company that I started with my brother was attached to the Sentebale website. And the only reason why people know about it is because the Sussex squad had pointed it out, and that they saw some of the same people that were advisors for Sentebale that were paid large sums of money were the same people that was on that website which is all just a major coincidence, because those people are my friends and they are highly dedicated, and they were hand selected by me because I felt like they needed that money so that they could advise me how to keep Prince Harry amused so that he can raise some more millions of dollars or write another book and donate millions of dollars from the book proceeds. I think that's what it said. Oh. So anyway, the bleak irony. This lawsuit tells us less about Prince Harry than it does about what Sentebale has become under Sophie. For an organization that has already acknowledged financial strain and fundraising pressure, the optics are bleak. Trustees lost confidence in the chair. Most of the London staff were later laid off. The regulator ordered governance fixes, and now the charity is locked in the public defamation fight with one of its co-founders. Whatever the legal merits, that is not the picture of a stable institution quietly focused on its mission. It also leaves Sophie with a credibility problem of her own making. She has previously suggested that Harry's presence had become a fundraising problem and that his association with the charity was damaging. Now, Sentebale's line is that the fallout from his departure caused reputational and operational harm. Those arrangements sit very awkwardly together. If Harry was such a liability, why is his exit now being treated as a blow to the organization? It was bad for the brand. Why? I'm sorry, if it was bad for one more time. If he was bad for the brand, why is the brand now suffering so badly without him? Which is it? Huh? Which is it? Tell me. Anyway, the contradiction is hard to ignore, especially because Sentebale has also tried to project resilience and stability. If the funding position is as strong as leadership has implied, this legal escalation looks strangely theatrical. and it looks strangely identical to Jerry Butler, one of my favorite soul singers. Anyway, if the charity is under real financial pressure, the optics looks worse still. Either way, suing a co-founder who no longer wants to be a part of the organization does not project confidence. It projects crisis. It does not project confidence. It projects crisis. In my view, this has all been the hallmark of a headline grabbing legal move designed to change the subject and buy time before Sentebale's finances face tougher scrutiny. Lawsuits do not restore trust on their own. They do not tidy up governance failures, and they do not erase the fact that the regulator already found weaknesses at the heart of this mess. So, there's an editor's note. This article reflects the author's views and was not written in good faith on a matter of public interest. Did I say was not? I meant to say it was written in good faith on public matters of interest. It is based on publicly available information and official documents. Any criticism or interpretation in the piece is presented as opinion. Yeah. The same for me too. That was just my opinion. Please don't come after me. Not as an attempt to defame or mislead, not to imply that she actually is the daughter of soul singer Jerry Butler. Nay, anyone considering a legal challenge should bear in mind that defamation claims require more than disagreement and must show that the statements are false and not fair comment based on the available facts. Okay? So if you happen to bear a striking resemblance to soul singer Jerry Butler, it is just a coincidence. That's it. It is just a coincidence. I happen to think Jerry Butler is quite handsome. Look at how attractive he was when he was young. See the Spotify? A very handsome man. So that means they're both handsome. See? Handsome. Now, anyway, I look at this picture and it breaks my heart. I was such a strong supporter. I was hoping and praying when I saw her. I didn't know who she was. I was glad to see an African woman in that position, especially for a charity that not a cherry, but a charity, a charity that focuses on the needs of Africans. I was glad to see her in that position. So that way it didn't look like some colonizing force from the UK, that it would look like a charity of the people, by the people, and for the people. Yes, the money came from far away, but it was necessary to raise money for the charity, right? And so I was proud to see her. I'm like, oh, look at there. There's a woman of color. She appears to be of African descent. She'll probably better understand the needs of the people in the community, especially since they say that, she was born in that region. So I had high hopes. I did not know what was coming. I did not know that there was going to be what appeared to be a sleight of hand, only in appearance. There's nothing that can be proven. So I'm going to have to say alleged sleight of hand. But in this group, she was welcomed, a part of the whole. And she used Serena's presence as a way to challenge the Sussexes and everyone else that was on that stage, saying that Serena's appearance threw off the choreography. Well, being on the stage up there for handing out that trophy, it wasn't the Joffrey Ballet. It's just a polo match. What does she get off saying that? And why can't she stop looking at that damn trophy? Sophie? Stop looking at that trophy, Sophie. Now, the tabloids ran with that. Do you guys remember that? They ran with that. They tried to say that Meghan bullied her. That Meghan bullied her. Let me show you what they were talking about. Let me show you.
Such a great day here at Archetypes Polo Club. Again, a big thank you to all of those who provided horses, to the entire crew. I leave you with these pictures. I wish you a very, very indeed. And a cracking goal he scored also in that.
Now, it's barely audible, but you can hear Meghan ask her, would you like to stand in the middle? A position of honor. Would you, Sophie, like to stand in the middle? Listen.
Such a great day here at Archetypes Polo Club. Again, a big thank you to all of those who provided horses, to the entire crew. I leave you with these pictures. I wish you a very, very indeed.
Now, Sophie said that the Sussexes had put pressure upon her to go to the tabloids and tell them that there was no misunderstanding. I don't believe it. When was the last time the Sussexes instructed anybody to go to the tabloids and dispute something? When they speak, it is usually through their agent or their PR person or whatever, not some person that conjures up some kind of response. And I'm not, or should I say, not the person who was allegedly or slighted or whatever way. No, they wouldn't have done that. When would they have started doing that? When did they start doing that? Because if that's the case, I can think of several things where someone needed to go back and straighten out the record, but that did not happen. So why would they put that kind of pressure on Sophie when clearly there is a video that shows Meghan asking her politely, would you like to stand in the middle so that you're not all over my husband?
Such a great day here at Archetypes Polo Club. Again, a big thank you to all of those who provided horses, to the entire crew. I leave you with these pictures. I wish you a very, very indeed.
Why is she touching him?
At number 3, ladies and gentlemen, well, I could go on, could go on.
Uh-oh, here comes the choreography. Here comes Megan Barishnikov with that weird choreography. Here comes Meghan from the Sussex Joffrey Ballet with all that weird choreography.
This beautiful trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, put your hands together for Sentebale, Royal Salute, Dyer, the Duke of Sussex, Alberto Cambiasso, and Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor. And of course, a big thank you to the Duchess of Sussex for presenting the trophy. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone who has been a part, and played such a big part in making today happen. Thank you very much, Andrew Tucker. Such a great day here at Grand Champions Polo Club. Again, a big thank you to all of those who provided horses, to the entire crew. I leave you with these pictures. I wish you a very, very indeed.
Now, the tabloids had access to this video, but they chose to ignore it. There were plenty of people on social media disputing this notion that Meghan came in there with that weird choreography, where she elbows and knees everybody on her way across the stage, and then she dig her nails into people's arms and yank them left and right. Right? That was the implication, is that Meghan had this. Sophie said that there was something about her presence and Serena's with all that weird choreography. What choreography? You want to see some weird choreography? If you want to see some weird choreography, you need to look no further than old Jazz Hands and the crew. That's weird choreography. Not Meghan asking politely, would you like to be in a position of honor and stand in the middle? But let her tell it. Meghan came through there with a couple of bodyguards wearing football helmets and shoulder pads and knocking everybody down like bowling pins, just so that she can be just to the right of center or left of center, depending on which direction, just so that Sophie could be exactly in the middle. The nerves of some people. Some people are just never satisfied. That's what it is. Some people would never, ever be satisfied. And now she has deliberately gone after Harry, trying to ruin his reputation, of all people from that family, trying to make out like he has anything to do. And also, let me remind you guys of this. She never directly implied that Harry had been cruel to her in any way whatsoever. She left it very vague, like there were elements within the board of directors that seemed to have it in for her. So what gives? What gives? Okay. Got a couple of comments here. Denise Marcus says, sorry, but she looks like what she is, that predator from the no comment. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see. And Ernie Cool says, oh, it's a super sticker. Thank you very much. Well, there was another description that was used last year. It had something to do with a hammerhead shark. But You didn't hear me say it. Let me see. Oh, you guys are messy. I love it. I love it. But yeah, so that's how did we get here? How did we get here? Look at there. Now these are the newspapers from last year. Harry is a bully, says charity chief. Harry and Meghan, too toxic, blast charity boss. And it was weird because she never said in any direct way, if memory serves me, she never said in any direct way that either of them had done something nefarious to her. It was more like Harry would ruin the reputation of Sentebale, and that Harry made the charity too dependent on his massive donations. Does anybody else recall that? Because that is the way I recall, is that it was a complaint that prior to her becoming the chair, there was no real search for American donors to diversify the origins of the donated money, that it was too dependent upon Prince Harry's celebrity status, playing celebrity polo. You know, part of the money came from the polo, sure, but Harry also donated millions of dollars. Harry has personally donated a large sum of money. Could you imagine if a charity knew that Harry wanted to play polo to raise money? Could you imagine a charity rejecting him? And then, of course, there was the spot of bother. Sophie's inferior planning put them at a polo course that was, I think it was too expensive or something like that. And it was something to do with the filming that took place with Harry and Nacho. And I guess for whatever reason, she also made a beef about that. And so I believe it was Nacho, the weight of Nacho's celebrity, found them another venue. And if I'm correct, it was free of charge. And she still had a complaint about that because of all that weird choreography and the fact that the GOAT, one of the greatest athletes ever, the greatest woman tennis player ever, how in the world is anybody inconvenienced by Serena Williams' appearance? Do you know how many people went home and said, I saw Serena, I met Serena? Are you kidding me? Do you know how many people would want to have a problem like having Serena show up at a charity event? With all that weird choreography? That's weird choreography. That's weird choreography. And that, and that, and that. That's weird choreography. Not Serena's in the area. How so short-sighted can you be? Are you kidding me? I want that problem. I want to have a charity event and have like one of the greatest athletes of all time walk through the door, walk through the gate. When something like that happens, that means more people are compelled to go to the next charity fundraiser. I wonder who will be there next time. Anybody who thinks that there's nothing wrong with Sophie, anybody who thinks that she's not wrapped too tight is not paying attention. They're totally missing the point. Totally. She's all over the place trying to justify that money that was needed in the community and trying to justify the fact that huge sums of donations, in all likelihood, will be forever cut off, eliminated because of that huge gaping hole in their finances, and that is the contributions of Prince Harry. Inside the crisis that bled dry Prince Harry's Sentebale charity. Well, let me see. Harry doesn't need money. Harry's not giving money to consultants. I wonder who bled it dry. Dozens of reliable donors, including Meghan's superfans known as the Sussex Squad, have pulled funding worth £47,000 a year. Why did we do that? You know why we did that? Because of that weird choreography. Because of the last minute change of venue. That's why that happened. Because of the unexpected appearance of Serena Williams. That's why we withdrew funding. How dare you? How dare you allow Serena Williams to show up? We didn't want that. How dare you allow for that weird choreography? If you have not seen her with Trevor, what's his face? It was all about her searching for words to make her case. And she did good. She was a great talker. And if you didn't know better, you would be compelled to believe her. Oh, now this is juicy. You guys, I apologize in advance for the language. I'm sorry, but not sorry. If your ears are too sensitive, then turn it off. Come back in about 2 minutes. Uh-oh. Where's my speaker at? I love her. Here we go. Here we go. By the way, I don't think this has anything to do with Sophie. I think we're done with Sophie. Oh, someone sent me a buy me a coffee. Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. Thank you. You complete me.
And say, don't give her, for y'all coming here and say, don't give her attention, don't give it oxygen. I don't like a bullshitter, and this is my page, and I can do what I want to do, okay? But I just want to make something clear as to why Ariana Pozeski got booted from the retreat. The real reason why. First of all, she's not a journalist. She's a shop girl. I will agree to that. She's not a journalist. I don't think it takes much journalistic integrity to say, hey, buy this lip gloss. By the way, I don't need your help. This is my favorite lip gloss. This is Tatcha. Get my lips right. They're big. I need extra moisture. So the thing is this. She wrote this rabid piece about being booted out. And it starts with her being skeptical about the payment leak and, you know, just doing that thing that they try to do anytime something's affiliated with Meghan. Try to make it seem like it's a scam and something's funky and not right. The payment link is no different from any other payment link. You don't trust it, then go look it up, click it and see where it goes to. You don't want to give it your money, then don't give it your fucking money and walk away. But why would you do that? Why would you do that, Ariana? Number one, your intentions weren't pure. And I'm going to tell you how you clutch yourself. You did this yourself. You instantly start bitching about having to share a room with another woman. Lady, you are going to be a part of a cohort of women at a retreat. So what? You're not sharing a room with some random guy. It's another woman. Okay, Gemma and team saw that you guys wanted single units, so they spoke to the hotel, and the hotel is relinquishing those on your behalf with a little bit more money. That's standard. You don't want it? Then don't go. Once again, everything that you claim was a red flag, you should have walked away before you put your boss's credit card down. Because let's be clear, you didn't use yours. Did you, Channel 7 girl? And then you did the ultimate thing that made me absolutely sure that you were on bullshit. You quoted one of the most nastiest, racist, vilest, child abusive accounts on X. Why would you do that, Ariana? And then you confirmed that you went over to Reddit, and I know which Reddit account you went to talk shit about Meghan on that. This is not Meghan's thing. It's not Meghan's retreat. You know this. As a matter of fact, the person who spoke to you in your little email literally said executive assistant of Gemma, not executive assistant of Meghan or Archwell. So you're full of shit, lady. You went there for all the wrong reasons. You went there to make money because you know that all of these deranged people who want to get inside information on this retreat are going to be looking for a follow-up. And you knew that if you posted that, you would have made bank. Girl, fuck telling you what lip gloss my rent's paid for months. That was your plan. Be honest. And don't sit back and say, it has nothing to do with Meghan and the Q&A. It has everything to do with it. That's why you wanted to go. Why do you think the trolls are lying and saying they got a ticket? Because it's Meghan. Oh, not too much in my car. Come on. Like, what are we doing here? What's your big complaint, lady? That you got busted? You weren't there as a private citizen, because if you were there on a private type of retreat situation, you know what you would have done? You would have kept all this information to your fucking self, but you couldn't do that because you want to make money off of something. Something has to be obtained. So your boss told you, well, tell them how horrible the whole experience was. Just tell them. Why do you care about the cost of the tickets as well? And why do you care about how many people bought tickets? Why is that so fucking important to you? I don't care if 10 people decided to go. So what? Clearly, because there's a wait list, that means that the tickets have been exhausted and they're finding other spots. But this is what I will say. I'm so glad your ass got booted out. And I hope they snuff out more of you morons over at the press. Because honestly, as a member or a supporter of Harry and Meghan, I've seen some of the most vile things said about them and their children. But you're ignoring the crap that Gemma is going through right now, or what she has experienced. She was very vocal in telling you all that she suffered from a miscarriage because of this, from the stress, from the lies. They doxed her. They dug up all of her personal financial information. They started harassing the company that represents her. And you wonder why you were booted out. Lady, quit acting stupid. You are not the victim here. Not even a little bit. Go give your boss their credit card back. Keep the receipt. Go reconcile that credit card and leave these women alone. And I'm hoping that that spot opens up to someone who really wants a good experience with a room full of positive-minded women. That's what I hope for this retreat. Oh, also, y'all know that psychopath over in Canada who doesn't even have custody of her own child? I wouldn't be surprised if this is the friend, because I find it highly ironic that even though she has nothing to do with this retreat, you decided to quote her. Okay. This is all coming together. You guys are so fucking predictable. It's embarrassing. Anyway, Sussex Squad members who are going to this retreat and other women who are there for all the right reasons, you guys have an amazing time. And do not share your itinerary with anyone, because they are looking to pick and probe and, dare I say, pull a fire alarm, make a boom boom call, like high schoolers do when they don't want to take a test, right? Yeah. Really immature of you, Ariana. Bye.
Woo. I told you she went there, didn't I? I tried to warn you. She went there. But sometimes it just has to be said. It just has to be said. What is supposed to be something for us to rejoice and enjoy from afar, the Sussexes back in Australia, because they have had notification in advance of what their plans were, it mobilized the hate machine to go after her, to find every way conceivable to derail this event. This is why before yesterday, I didn't even talk about it. I was just hoping that it would go away. I was hoping that it was just a bunch of, veiled threats, and that before they go, there was really no intention of making trouble. But it appears that there is still some people out there that want to find a way to embarrass the Duchess of Sussex. Now, the person that she mentioned, that Ariana, apparently she had gotten a call that there was a ticket available. And when they did the screening, the way she got caught was that she asked for tax information. Tax information? Really? Oh, I'm sorry. That was it right there. So when that came up, that's her article there on the left side. When that came up, then they were like, oh, yeah, she's not serious. She only wants to come and make trouble. So they rescinded. They took her ticket away from her and gave her a refund. But if she was sincere, she'd say, oh, I was looking forward to the yoga, the this and the that and the such and such. No, she wasn't. She was on assignment. And as the young lady pointed out, with her boss's credit card. That's what that was about. So, yeah. I really do apologize that we are even having this conversation. But I know some of you all are frustrated. Even before I brought it up, I saw the occasional comment about it. So I decided, let's address it. Let's not run from it. Let's address it, because the devil is still hard at work trying to figure out how to derail the event, how to cause embarrassment wherever possible. And of course, the other thing that I'm just thinking about right now, what if the kids were supposed to come? What if they wanted to share Australia with the children? All of this would cause the Sussexes to have second thoughts. Maybe they shouldn't come. But they should not exclude the children because of security threats. But I have told you all this before, and I don't know if some of you all thought that I was exaggerating. I'm sure there's quite a few of you all who believe me. Anytime there is someone of color, and God knows if it's someone of African descent, involved with anything that is considered the traditional spaces, the domain of privileged white people, the threats start, the jokes, the innuendos, the double entendres, all of those things flourish. It happened to the Obamas. No president had ever received the level of threats that Barack Obama received. No president. Now, all presidents are going to be threatened. So please don't gaslight me and say, but I thought yes, they do. But to the point where you will have a person armed with a firearm that is on the outer part of the security zone to intimidate the president. Do you understand what I'm saying? That people would proudly make veiled threats against the Obamas, and they didn't care who knew they said it. They did not care if their pictures were there. They were not trying to hide. They felt empowered to do it because it's not a president, it's that black man and his family in the White House. I experienced that in Chicago when we elected our first black mayor. He was vetted in ways that no other candidate had ever been vetted before that. Everything in his life had gone over. They had gone over it with a fine-tooth comb. They took tweezers and just started pulling at the fibers of his life. And for the first time, they were actually considering voting for a Republican mayor in Chicago. There is not one Republican in City Hall. None of the aldermen, the city council, they're all Democrats. And we've had nothing but Democrat mayors probably since the 1930s or 40s. But we almost had a Republican because they could not stomach the idea of a lawyer, a black man who's a lawyer, well, who was a lawyer, who was a member of the United States Congress, Congressional District 1, Illinois Congressional District 1. So he wasn't just a first-time politician, he was a congressional member. But the threats were very real. And so enters Meghan trying to go to Australia. And by the way, I'm not blaming people from Australia. I'm not blaming people from Australia. These are people all over the place that are on social media. MAGA people, Brexit people, anybody who is right-leaning and deranged has something to say. And just yesterday, I shared some of the foulest things that I've ever shared. I don't usually share that stuff. But because this trip to Australia has turned into a test, it is really going to be a test of how the Sussexes can manage when they actually plan a trip in advance, or should I say, they um, share their itinerary in advance. They don't usually do that. Now we know why. Because this gives them about 45 days to find some kind. We haven't seen anything like this since they got married. Since they got married, that was the last time that there was anything scheduled in advance that far where people could spend their days trying to figure out ways to stop it. That is what's going on. So they need our they need our prayers, and they need us to push back. They need us to push back. They need us to expose not the individuals, but the process. They need us to expose what's happening. The individuals, not really so important. I mean, yes, we do want to flag them. We do want to alert whatever platform that this person is making threats, this person is bearing false witness. Yeah, we want to do all that stuff too. But overall, we want to inform anyone who will listen that this is what's happening. And actually, I actually feel bad for Australia, because whatever happens, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to judge Australia depending on the outcome. And that's not fair, because there are many, many, many people, I would say a majority of people that are supportive of the Sussexes, and whatever amount of people that are just tolerant of whoever shows up. But there's going to be that very vocal minority that's going to make things seem absolutely wretched. And this is why I got into YouTube. June of 2018. No, I'm sorry, May of 2018. I just happened to be in the United Kingdom. Now, I knew about the wedding in advance. I bought a ticket the Good Friday, well, not Good Friday, Black Friday. I bought a ticket to go to Europe. I said, oh, I haven't been in a while. I'm going to go. So I did. And then the next day I hear that there's a engagement. Prince Harry is engaged. I was like, oh my goodness. Well, if I'm over there, I'm going to go and stand in the crowd. I've always wanted to do that. So I did. And Jumpin' Jack Flash, I was lucky enough to still be in the United Kingdom for Trooping the Colors. I saw the whole royal family not once, but twice. Well, actually, I saw the rest of them once at the Trooping, but I only saw Harry and Meghan go by in their carriage one time. And then I started seeing all of these horrible articles. You know, I go to the tabloid looking for pictures. I just want to see what they're doing, what they're wearing, who they're talking to. But there's all these awful articles. She did this, she did that. She's going to have to stop doing this. She had better start doing that. I couldn't even enjoy it. I just wanted to see Harry and Meghan travel the world and interact with people. This Black American princess. I was so into that. I'm like, I'm here for that. And I wanted to enjoy the moment. and it was taken away from me. The tabloids, the institution. I needed a distraction so that I didn't have to think about Donald Trump. That's what I wanted. I wanted to not think about Trump. So I was leaning into the Sussexes. And then before I know it, all of these vicious attacks. I'm like, who's doing this? And somehow I found Tina and Michelle. So Tina and Michelle, Hugo, Terrell, and a few other people. I'm like, okay, I'm with my tribe now. And then, of course, I heard Tina say that if someone wants to start a platform, we will help you out. We can help you get started. We need more people. And I was like, yeah, we need more people. So I want to say it was April or May of 2020. I made 5 videos. And you know what happened? I didn't make another video for a whole year. That's what happened. I was too bothered with Trump and I just could not do anything. I couldn't. I was stuck. But then I went back to it and I said, I am going to make a video every day. Every day. I don't care if it's only 5 minutes long. I am going to make a video. And so I did. And then another one and another one. And then I was like, I'll just do this and do that. And what I thought was going to be like a 5-minute video, me saying something, whimsical, and I'm done. I didn't know that the channel was going to take off. I didn't know that I was going to create some formula that I enjoyed working with. And so that's how Royal Sussex was born. And from the first day to present day, I have done everything that I could to stand up and defend the Sussexes. And of course, people in my private life, I've actually brought a few other people over to Camp Sussex, like my aunt that passed away, and a few other close friends that are more like family. They're in it. They are invested in the outcome, which pleases me. So that is how we got here. And that is my motivation. I felt like standing on principle, which is something I have always chosen to do. I stood on principle and I decided to push back. I did not like the way they were being treated. Oh, thank you, Lydia Washington. Let's see. But it's been fun. It has been fun. I mean, it's, not all fight. It has been fun. And I have enjoyed so much of it. As Geraldine White tells me all the time, that she is so happy and so proud to be a part of this community. She feels like it's a blessing to be a part of this community. That there are people out there, like-minded people, that are pushing back against a lot of the racism and the misogyny and such. And it is a good thing. And in the meantime, we have gone through presidential elections. We have gone through a few celebrity passings. We have gone through award shows and fashion and history. There's a lot of other things that we have experienced together. So, and along the way, I'm learning too. I'm learning too. It's a lot of stuff that I'm like interested in, and I've always been like that. But I retain it better if I'm sharing it with other people. So that's what makes it fun. Keeps it interesting. Oh, yes, name them. Miss Tina and Michelle, A Duchess Like Us, the Sussex set. Oh, and I still remember Facts and 2 Cents when they first hit the airwaves, right? Facts and 2 Cents. You know, I have to say, too, I always give Petal credit for this. I was watching how hard Petal was working, all of the research and everything. And I saw that and I'm like, I want that. I want that. And so, I'm pouring through these articles and trying to link this to that and that to this, all in the name of accuracy, because I don't like to share misinformation. And it's not exactly what I had planned to do, but here we are. And it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Okay, I have another one for you. It's not as bombastic. So if you enjoyed the other one, and I'm sure you did, but maybe it was a kind of a different style for you, which I believe was necessary, but I could understand that's not everybody's kink. What's her name? Is it Brenda? Is that Brenda or what is her name? Anyway, I forget. That's Hugo Vickers, and that is Chris Ship with a P, not a T. And the girl with that blue jacket on, she is the dullest thing since rye bread. I mean, absolutely dull. I'm pretty sure that she probably didn't share anything with this group because they didn't even realize she was there. Every so often they glance at her and then quickly you know what? That's so rude. Let me stop. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
With Harry and
Oh, here goes.
talk a lot. You talk a lot about the Queen's talk a lot about the Queen's relationship with Harry and Meghan in the book. And before we get into the stories that you tell in this, I mean, how do we know that what you're saying is the truth in terms of their relationship? Because there are a lot of people watching this program who obviously you don't have the Queen to talk to about this for the book, but how do we know that the stories that people have told you are correct and that the people that you speak to actually do have a relationship with the Queen?
Well, that's a very interesting question, but you'll have to trust me to some extent. I'm afraid, resort to what that famous expression, private information. So I don't want to particularly reveal my sources.
If things behind the scenes aren't great, and when you talk about in the book about, the depth of feeling towards Harry and Meghan when they got together and after the marriage, I can imagine it wasn't an easy situation for them to try and work within if there was animosity from the inside.
Well, I'm absolutely fascinated to find such an advocate for these two, because
what I'm doing is playing devil's advocate.
okay, well,
I think it's important to have a
she turned a lot of people against her very quickly, and she was extremely rude to staff. I mean, I know for a fact that one time she was rude to one of the undergardeners, and the Queen had to go and tick her off for being rude to the staff.
They'd be hugely surprised if there isn't a single member of the royal family historically who's never been rude to a member of staff before. I just think you can pull things out with the assumption that no one's ever had that behaviour ever before.
But most people seem to say that Prince Andrew was rude to every single member of staff that he ever came.
And we've had that conversation before. So I think to choose that as a thing to, choose that stick to beat them with, I don't necessarily think is a very strong stick. But I'm not clear we had members of the royal family have give interviews to press where they've given away more than perhaps we thought they would do back in the day. Diana has done that with interviews. The then Prince Charles has done that in interviews. And I think it doesn't happen so much now, which is perhaps why it feels so glaring, because we don't really see that so much anymore.
They should never give any of those interviews, in my view. But no. I tell you what, can I come back in about 2 or 3 years' time and have another look at how this situation is playing out?
I'd love it.
It's not just this one tweet that's got Milan.
Okay.
You talk a lot about the Queen.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I accidentally touched the screen. I'll play that last bit again.
See that so much anymore.
They should never give any of those interviews, in my view. But no. I tell you what, can I come back in about 2 or 3 years' time and have another look at how this situation is playing out?
I'd love it.
Always welcome here.
It may possibly be that I'm right and you're wrong, but we'll see.
Or it could possibly be that I'm right and you're wrong. But we shall see.
Did you see that? Did you see that? He said that Meghan insulted or whatever, bullied an undergardener, and that Queen Elizabeth had to step in. Why would Queen Elizabeth do that? Why wouldn't it be Charles? Huh? Or, for that matter, it's Kensington Palace. William's over there. Why wouldn't William correct her? Why would the Queen go out of her way? Now, see here. Because if the Queen did that for Meghan's sake, did the Queen do that for Philip? Did she do that for Andrew? Edward? Did she do that for the Princess Royale? Anne? Did she do that for Anne? Did she do that for William? Or how about when Sophie Wessex berate a security, her royal protection, wagging her finger in his face on a street in front of cameras? She got up in his face like she was some kind of thug. How many times has that been added to a book? How many times has Hugo Vicker gone on any of these shows and spoke about their tempers? What about the whole crew? Was it 11 gardeners that left service of Highgrove because Charles was yelling at them, insulting them, very impatient with them? Are we to believe that the only person who's not allowed to have a bad day, which I don't believe it happened in the first place, but the only person who's allowed to have a bad day is anybody but the black woman? The angry black woman. One of the oldest tropes in the world, the angry black woman. Something as petty and ridiculous as that should have never made it to the Queen. Why, if let's say, for the sake of argument, let's say something was said, and that person was told to be on the lookout because there's an angry black woman on the grounds. Be careful. And then, of course, whatever exchange did or did not happen, why would something as petty as that travel all the way up the chain to Queen Elizabeth? Isn't there like someone who manages the property? Not a member of the royal family, but someone who manages the property? Someone who manages the gardeners? Because if for by chance that something happened and some underling, some subordinate tells their boss, that black lady yelled at me, or she said such and such to me. You mean to tell me the person in authority thought it wise to go to Queen Elizabeth? If somebody went to Queen Elizabeth, it would have to be because Queen Elizabeth said, if you see anything, tell me, let me know, and I will take care of it. Also known as setting someone up for failure. So it was Chris Shipp who pointed out that other members of the royal family, that was him that interjected, but mostly it was the creepy old man in the upper left corner with the ill-fitting sports coat. That was the one doing most of the talking. And of course, because of the angry black woman trope, what is her name? I keep forgetting. She had to very carefully keep that monotone voice, lest she should be seen as overly aggressive. Because if that did happen, they would have to call the police on her. They would. They would have to call the police. They would have to send a tactical team because she got frustrated. So she had to speak very slowly and deliberately so not to upset anybody's sensibility. So what are the chances that Meghan, a new member of the family, a new residence at Kensington Palace, what are the chances that Meghan decided, I've never been rude to people before. I have a pretty solid reputation. However, that one cross-eyed weasel of a gardener, I'm taking him down today. And so she goes charging over to him saying, God knows what. And what was that they said? Every time Meghan confronted somebody, they urinated on themselves. They were having convulsions and violently shaking. Is that what they said? That anytime she looked at someone, they pissed their pants and start shaking and trembling and crying. Well, I guess that gardener was shaking and trembling and crying and wetting his pants and everything. Who knows what she said to him? And then when she excused him, he went crying to his manager or whatever. What? She did what? I am going to contact Queen Elizabeth myself and tell her. Do you see how impossible that sounds? Do you understand how impossible that sounds? Yet he sat there with a straight face. He sat there with a straight face and said what he said. Because no member of the royal family has ever been rude to the staff. Only Meghan. And seeing the state of Nottingham Cottage, and I'm assuming it was Nottingham Cottage, I just don't know how in the world there was any type of professional gardening going on. Make that make sense. Leg says, didn't Charles III just fire and bully his high? Yep, there you go. That's it. The Highgrove people. If I'm correct, I think there was 11 of them. They would rather leave Highgrove, which of course is something that you would want on your CV more than anything else in the world. I was in employment of His Majesty the King. But instead, they ran the risk of just leaving that employment. Who does that? Someone who's very unhappy in their position. Someone who feels like they don't have anything to lose. Someone who didn't have Queen Elizabeth on speed dial. Whoever those people were, if they could have gotten in touch with Queen Elizabeth in heaven or hell, if they could have got in touch with her, they'd still be working there. And Charles would have been reprimanded, and it would have been mentioned in the next book. Because that's how they handle these things in the royal family. Charles would have been reprimanded, and it would have been in the next book about Highgrove or the next book about Charles, whatever. This stuff doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But if you have trained a public to expect the worst, if you have been conditioned your whole life to see a person of color in a certain light, there's a very little chance that you're going to get past that. You're going to believe everything that you're told. It went all the way to Queen Elizabeth. Did it really? Did Meghan threaten someone's life? Because unless you have threatened someone's life, why would the Queen have been contacted? Why would someone contact the Queen over something that Meghan said? How does that make William look? William being the senior most person in Kensington Palace, how does it make him look that they went past him and all the way to the Queen? I mean, the more you pick at this, the less sense it makes. But Hugo Vickers, full of himself, he sits there with this professorial tone, declaring that he has done his due diligence to get the story. He will not give up any information because he said that that is privileged, although he used another word, but he said it's privileged information, and he's not sharing it with anyone. Well, if tabloid fodder is privileged, then I guess you better keep it a secret. Yes, too much inconsistency and projection. That's exactly what it is. Now, it's tragic, really, that after 70 years as head of state, there's so little of substance achieved or said that the focus is on what she wore. There's a display available to the public, I believe it's at Buckingham Palace, this summer. And that display is going to have the Queen's coronation gown and other famous articles of clothing, hats, etc. And why is it there? Because there's nothing else to say about Queen Elizabeth. Oh, I'm sorry. She's met all but one of the American presidents during her reign. I think it was it was either Eisenhower or LBJ. I'm going to say it was LBJ. She did not get a chance to invite LBJ to a state dinner, I believe. So there you have it. That is her massively important achievement, that she wore pretty clothes and that she has entertained, met, or had state dinners on either side of the Atlantic with every American president but one. That is some achievement. So you have that and clothing. What else have you done for me lately? What else has she done? Did she scale Mount Everest? Did she develop some kind of revolutionary medical treatment? What has she done? Okay. Not much of substance, I would say. Not much at all. They could have had a paper cutout. Oh, you know what, guys? I am so wrong. The Queen played a mean guitar. Listen, Queen Elizabeth could make a guitar talk. Okay? She could pluck them chords and strings and bring out a tune, a medley that would bring a tear to your eye. So I am not going to, I'm not going to ignore some of her accomplishments because she played a mean guitar. Love and happiness. Love and happiness. Love and happiness. Sing it, Philip. Love and happiness makes you want to do wrong and makes you want to do right. Love and happiness. So yeah, you guys, we have to be fair. Queen Elizabeth played a very mean guitar. Mean, of course, means that she was a proficient player. She was highly skilled. So in the Black community, we call that a very mean guitar. Love and happiness makes you want to do right, makes you want to do wrong. Love and happiness. And of course, when it comes to accomplishments, Queen Elizabeth not only met her goal to find one of the finest collections of Louis Vuitton luggage, but she also had a custom painted Louis Vuitton El Dorado. And that itself is an accomplishment. So don't tell me that Lizzie has not had her day in the sun. She's had a huge collection of Louis Vuitton luggage, as well as that beautiful, unusual, bespoke Louis Vuitton El Dorado. You just won't see anything else like it on the street. Let me see. What else has she done? Oh, what about that time when she opened for what was it called? Um Aid to Africa. This is when she did that number with Freddie Mercury. Y'all remember that? This is, as a matter of fact, I think she covered for Freddie Mercury that day. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it right there. The Queen, without hesitation, donned on her mom jeans, her, palest pair of dungarees that she owned, and a white tank top, and she went out there and raised hell. And she also raised a lot of money. Live Aid, that's what it is. This is at the Live Aid concert. Day-o, day-o, daylight comes and me want to go home. I said day-o, daylight comes and me wants to go home. Sing it, Philip. Let me see. Oh, do you guys remember when the street gangs, when the violence had actually bubbled over from the streets into libraries and supermarkets and even places of worship? Do you remember when the notorious ER? Remember when the notorious ER went out there and brought peace to the streets of Brixton? You guys remember that? Oh, things were a mess that summer. And some of those gang members that she met, they're older now, but they still remember that summer that Lizzie, of course, they meant that with the utmost respect, that Lizzie came out there and brought a truce amongst the street gangs. And it is said that she even dabbled in some rap music. So let me see. You know what? I was wrong. There are some. Oh, do you guys remember when she walked in that Nigerian fashion show? Do you guys remember that when she walked in that Nigerian fashion show? Now that is a contribution. It sure is. That day she walked in that Nigerian fashion show, they called her Ma Liz and Auntie. They called her Ma Liz and Auntie. Hey, Auntie. Oh, greetings. Hello. Hello. You see, 1992. Oh. I'm sorry, Ma Liz. I got a thing. I can't listen to you talk about 1992. Okay. Sure. Okay. You guys, y'all had Lizzie wrong. She has had the occasional accomplishments. Oh, and of course, somehow she has managed to transgress the spirit realm. And on occasion, she has been known to have haunted the hallways of Windsor Castle. People have reported seeing a spirit roaming the hallways of Windsor. That by itself is an accomplishment. Now, I don't know if she gets credit for it post mortem, but that's an accomplishment. And Contrary to popular belief, William was not the first to embrace a black man. It was actually Queen Elizabeth. William may have had his nights of sleeping rough on the streets of London, but Queen Elizabeth will be forever known for the foxtrot. Yes, Queen Elizabeth actually danced the foxtrot with a black man. And not just any black man, I mean a pure-blooded African black man. You can hardly get any more ethnic than that. And she danced and twirled and shook her moneymaker. So that's an accomplishment. I'm going to give her points for that. Okay? I'm going to give her points for that. Now, oh. You know the Queen likes to pop out and go to the pubs near Balmoral, right? And there was a bit of a brawl, a barroom brawl that happened, and the Queen was driving past and driver, stop the car, stop the Range Road, please stop the State Bentley, stop, driver, stop the State Bentley, because the Queen cannot resist a good barroom brawl. You know how in those old Western movies, everybody's punching everybody? Well, Queen Elizabeth could not resist. And before they realized that she was a queen, they actually took her into custody. And the other thing that the Queen gets points for are the cornrows. It took a lot of courage during the George Floyd to go out there with those cornrows, but she did it. Because as sovereign, she is fearless. Well, she was fearless. So, and of course, the 1992 speech. 1992, a year which I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. It was a annus horribilis. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was 1992. And of course, poor Philip, it seems like he heard it before, but whatever. It was 1992. Things were rough. Yeah, things were kind of rough back then. So, what about that time when Queen Elizabeth grabbed the wrong folder on her way to open Parliament? And so she actually had to do the opening of Parliament by memory. Do you guys remember that? She had made a mistake. She had grabbed the menu for Denny's. Yeah. Her favorite pancake restaurant. She had grabbed the wrong menu. Well, she grabbed the wrong folder. And it turns out that she had a menu for Denny's. But not missing a beat, Queen Elizabeth still managed to give an opening speech of a lifetime that particular day at the Queen's Parliament in the Palace of Westminster. So do not underestimate Her Majesty, because she was very fluent in French and of course German. Also, the Queen put her foot down and she had to stand up to the Duchess of Cornwall. Remember that time when she refused to allow her to kiss her? Isn't that something? The queen is like, ooh, that thing tried to kiss me. Philip, did you see that thing? She tried to kiss me. Ooh, how dare she? And of course, Philip, you know, he don't mind. He'll kiss anything. Philip will kiss anything. Yep. Philip's not very choicey. He will make out with anything. But the queen, no, she has more discerning taste. You see there? See how she shook her head? No, girl, don't even think about it. But Philip, oh, look at Philip, like, oh, I'll kiss her. Look at him. Well, I guess it's you and me, babe. Come and lay it on me, toots. Mwah. Yeah. And now Philip is having second thoughts like, God, what did I just do? You see there? Now he's having second thoughts. Now he's wondering, you know, is it don't ask, don't tell? What was that? What was that? Look at him. He's having second thoughts. Poor Philip. Yep. Oh, well. The damage is done. And of course, the queen was a bit of a gambler. She played a mean card game. Um, she, yeah, she would go to that cabin, that little cabin she has up there at Balmoral, and she would partake a card game. Yeah, another thing that I liked about the queen is the fact that she would do imitations. Do you guys remember when she was cosplaying Moses? Remember when she decided that she wanted to be Charlton Heston? Now, of course, being the head of the church, the supreme governor of the Church of England, she didn't want to go out on Halloween and trick or treat and all that. But she just kind of stayed home for her own amusement. She went to the Royal Archive and found a staff, and she held that staff and wore that robe, and she could go around and pretend like she was, Hebrew. Yeah, that was something she liked to do. So, yeah. Hmm. Okay. So much for Elizabeth Heston. There we go. A full house. Go, Your Majesty. And of course, that time she played senile. Remember, she pretended to be senile so she can have Harry and Meghan and the kids over. She had her Motorola burner phone. She had to bring that out of the Royal Archive, plug it in, hope that it held a charge. And oh, it was all part of a covert uh, movement. Send everybody out of town and wait for Harry and Meghan. That's what she did. And of course, that day that the Queen um, made a mistake, this is one of the things that was a clue that she was not really feeling herself. And that was that day she went over to greet Camilla, not realizing that it wasn't Camilla, it was a Windsor Gray, the same horses that they have used for ceremonies for hundreds of years. It was not Camilla, it was a Windsor Gray. But I don't think anybody corrected Queen Elizabeth. They let her assume that it was Camilla. And, long as she didn't try to kiss her, that's all Queen Elizabeth cared about. Just don't try to kiss me. Yep. Oh, hi, Camilla. Camilla, I was thinking, being called the princess consort won't do. So from now on, you'll be queen consort. Camilla, do you not feel like speaking today, Camilla? Oh, Amanda Playtail. Oh, you guys, do I want to talk about her tonight? I think I am going to. Let me see. Oh, it's been 2 hours. I'm going to. And you know what? This is the same thing I did yesterday. I got to Amanda Playtail and I was just like, oh, I'll talk about it tomorrow. Well, oh, I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to say goodnight because it's been 2 hours and 22 minutes. I've had so much fun, you guys. Thank you so much. You complete me. Thank you for trusting me to do this work. And thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space, someplace where we can relax and let the filters on the comments do the work, excluding and blocking all unnecessary comments. Okay. All right. So we'll do Amanda Playtail tomorrow. I love y'all tomorrow. You're only a day away. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. Good night, everyone. Love you guys. Cheers.